science is changing continuously. This has been quite obvious with the pandemic, starting with the lockdown across the world and then the de-lockdown. Science is at the forefront of informing member states and governments on the new containment facilities that need to be taken. This understanding of science and this particular situation with the COVID has made us realize that science is continuously changing by days as the science is coming out of laboratories. So how then can we ensure that can produce this new data, utilize it at the speed of social media? This is the biggest challenge today. So it's a role of the science and research to inform societies and communities to make informed decision making. But how then do we ensure that that information is relayed in a timely fashion? I would also like to share with you then the role of UNESCO. UNESCO has put together these enormous sites, UNESCO designated sites, which showcase how we can live in harmony with nature and how local populations are adapting to global threats. These sites are the UNESCO designated sites, the World Heritage Sites, the World Cultural Heritage Sites, the Natural Heritage Sites, the Biosphere Reserves, where we are promoting man and the biosphere or man and the planet. These sites, which are also called the geoparks, where we are promoting our geological heritage. This is also the science of the environment. How then we can reach out to all of these different populations across the world in a very timely fashion in order to build these resilient communities which are resilient to climate change, resilient to misinformation, but also communities that have the information to make choices in the future. How then can we contribute to the production and sharing of this knowledge across the world? And finally, I would like to stress the importance of young people. Young people are really the guardians against false information. How can the social media ensure that the young and the youth across the world have relevant information, that they, as the sternest advocates for sound science, are fully equipped to take over this knowledge and to transmit them in a way that will be appreciated by society, understood, and transformed into evidence-based policies? UNESCO hosted last year the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change here in UNESCO in Paris. These scientific reports, which are produced by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, are crucial decision-making across the world. How can we ensure that the young people in different communities have access to this information, timely information, but also enabling them to access the information in different languages? If we want to prevent the false information and to prevent spread of false information, how can we empower our youth through different networks? UNESCO launched a network which is called the Youth UNESCO Climate Action Network. This UCAN network is also very important to advocate against the misinformation and false information concerning climate change. However, the youth can only be empowered as far as the information they receive. So how can we ensure that we produce perhaps climate change platforms or climate change dashboards with the latest data and information so that people can access this information across the world in the language they understand, whether it's stakeholders, governments, NGOs, policymakers, and also our parents and future generations? So what kind of platform would we need? How can we ensure that this inclusive stakeholder platform also includes what we would call today the popularization of science and citizen science? We have a number of different initiatives across the world, but perhaps the most important initiative that we would like to consider right now is the tools for climate change information. What kind of tools would we need, and how can we reinforce and denounce false information? How can we unite behind the science? So long-term success of combating misinformation needs collaboration amongst all of us, and we look forward to working with you so that quality information can shape the future and shape the future policies to combat misinformation.